He's saying how many toilets they're going to have. Way more than the average NBA arena.
3 times.
Because we don't want you waiting in line to go to the bathroom. We want you back watching the game.
I stand for this. I love this.
Yeah.
This is important.
Now, you don't necessarily need tons of toilets.
Oh.
You do need a lot of urinals.
See, I disagree, D.A., in these new stadiums.
Really?
Can I, if I may?
And you may.
The new stadiums that I've experienced, both on the road and here in locally New York, of course, I can't speak for the women's bathrooms, the men's bathrooms, have done a tremendous job in. You walk in, it's like an IKEA for urinals. They're everywhere. They're around and about. There's like turns in the bathroom. You don't even know how they fit it in the wall. How did you even get this extra room here? There's urinals everywhere. And I rarely at any packed game now wait at line for a urinal. Now, there's a line going into the bed. Once you go in, there's usually like, okay, now 4 urinals open. The toilets are causing the backups here for 2 reasons. You have some gun-shy people that are afraid to go at a urinal or, dare I say, an old-school trough, and they only want to go, they call it shy guys, in a toilet.
Toilets!
You know, look, like it, find it disgusting or not, we're serving a lot of heavy fried foods, and you're going to have people have to do other things in the toilet.
Well, that's a different conversation, but if you only need to tinkle, you cannot take a stall. You can't, unless you're 7 years old. Like, I remember going to the trough at 7, and I was, like, very nervous around big guys, very nervous around adults, and, you know, things are happening over your shoulder. You know, I get that. If it's a kid, you put them in. But if you're an adult, you cannot take up a toilet to go number 1.
I'm aware of that because we are living in a society, DA, but people are doing this. And
can't.
I promise you, DA, we don't pay attention to this. I do. Stand online at a bathroom next time you see it at a ball game or something like that, and it's out the door. Realize once you get in what's causing the backup when you see the urinals open. It's all these people congregating because the stalls are usually right by the beginning. And then you realize when you see people standing there, oh, they're afraid to go in a urinal.
Well,
and this is why you need more toilets, Steve, because there's people like me who have 17 chicken fingers, a bucket in the 5th inning, go, you know what? I got to take care of something here. I'm not going to make it home. Or you do the old 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. I'm not making it the hour drive home. And then you go there and people are standing in line doing number 1. You need more toilets for people like me to go to.
Okay. Toilets! With all of the big extravagant dishes and foods and meals at ballparks, I agree. Toilets are a necessity. Toilets! People are eating chocolate-covered bacon, covered waffle sliders, covered in whipped cream and strawberries on a stick, deep fried.
Yeah.
You're gonna need access to number 2 situations.
Yeah. 2 words: helmet nachos.
Okay, so that is fair game. But those stalls can't be taken by shy guys. If you're over the age of 10, you must use a urinal for number 1. You must. And if you're over the age of 10 and you can't, swim with the sharks. Push yourself in there. You know, maybe this is where people that worry about the masculinity of men now going down are right. That we don't know how to use our hands anymore and we don't know how to do number 1 in front of people. That is part of being a guy. You got to be able to fix a flat and go in the urinal. You have to.
I wish I could disagree with you. Push back. I agree.
And look, you go to a trough. It's open air. You know, we all get it. It's Bratwurst Central. It's not comfortable for anybody.
Definitely not.
You know, but you're going to sit there for 5 to 6 seconds, and it's going to not come out. And you're going to be pushing, and you're going to be like, I got to relax, I got to relax, I got to relax. And then finally, it'll come. Don't worry. And if you guys sit there 10 seconds and nothing comes out, that's fine. 15 seconds, now you're getting into weird land. But still, you've got to do it. You've got to push through that. And if that's your fear, urinating around other people in the trough or the urinal, practice at your local Little League ballpark.
I agree.
Keep practicing because you can't take up stalls by doing that stuff.
Why?
Thank you. No, but here's
What do you
the
mean,
thing.
why?
Why?
What?
Why? Like, I feel comfortable going wherever, but why can't I go in a stall?
Because you're taking up extremely important resourtions.
Well, that's not my
important.
problem.
Yes,
No, it is your
That's not
problem.
my
Yes,
problem.
you're
That's
living in a
not my
community.
Okay. All right. What if I'm going number 1 and I have to go number 2?
Well, that's a different story.
Well,
There's only
we're
one
gonna
place to go number 2.
Go in the urinal?
There's only one place to go number 2. But there's a million places to go number one.
It's one of the rare benefits still to being like a guy. Like the one thing you have left is, wow, I got the utensils to use a urinal. It's a fun trip. When I'm in public, I can't wait to use a urinal because it's like I don't have one of these at home. You can look at the Jumbotron. I got a big screen at home. I don't have a urinal at home.
What this is like is Pete is saying, well, what happens if I only want to ride the elevator alone? I'm just going to take the elevator and tell everybody else, stay out of the elevator because I only am comfortable doing it alone.
I like
and
the
you're
elevator alone.
And you're like, well, it's not my problem. You don't have more elevator banks. No, you have to live in a community. You have to make sure you're comfortable in an elevator with people.
And let's also get to the crux of the issue here. If you are one of these people, what are you scared of? What are you scared of? Because I was there. I didn't want to go away to college for community showers and all of that. So let me speak to somebody who used to be scared of these kind of things.
Speak.
Are you scared that Tommy from Hackensack, who you'll never see again the rest of your life, is going to look down and go, oh, you're a little underperforming there?
Bingo.
That's what you're scared of? You will never see that guy again the rest of your life?
And he's not looking.
And he's not looking. Right. They're not looking. And if he is, 3 minutes later, you're never going to see this guy again the rest of your life. And if you do, it'll be 9 years from now at a Sizzler, and he won't remember that you were the guy at MetLife Stadium at the parking lot, in the burnt bathroom. Moving along.
Unless it's that small, he might be scarred for life.
And also, if you are racing up and you have that mentality where you cannot go to urinal, I got news for you. You didn't have to go that bad anyway. And you probably could have held it.
And don't go to the ballpark then.
Right.
You don't have to go to this game.
Oh, stop.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. If you cannot go to urinal, you should not be allowed in the stadium.
Then you're terrified of people. Then just stay home.
No, you're being ridiculous.
Why can't you go to the urinal?
Come on. What if
Pete, why do you need a stall to go number one?
What if you don't think about this stuff? What if you can go to a stall and go to a urinal as well? Maybe, hey, one day I don't want to use the urinal. The other day I just want to go in the stall.
I don't want to.
What about if you just want to use a stall one day?
What does that mean? I just want to use a stall.
It's just I'm going to the bathroom. Oh, hey, I want to use a stall this time, not the urinal.
So you want to eat a lollipop for dinner as well? I mean, you don't just get to do whatever you want.
Right. Whoa. What if I want to run this red light?
It's just like telling people I don't want you in my elevator. You can't do that.
You guys sometimes are terrible at comparisons. This is like running a red light, Sean. Going in the
well, but you're holding people up. Is that fair to the guy?
Guys, we've been to a million games, a million concerts. There's always lines for urinals to the point where people go into the stall to pee to beat the line of the urinal.
Different
we're
situation.
Not talking about that.
We're talking about the opposite.
But you can,
to throw that out. That's a straw man argument. Nobody's saying there's not enough urinals, so use the toilet. This is taking up a toilet because you're scared of the urine.
But my point is, there's never a run on toilets that you can't go pee in there real quick and get out of the way.
That's the whole point. Bogus. You got to remove yourself from the conversation.
Okay.
That's the whole argument.
The whole argument is in
that's
these
why
new
Steve Ballmer's putting in toilets because there's too many. There's not enough toilets.
There's usually you get in and there's like 6 toilets and 70 urinals, and you always walk in and you realize the line is backed up because there's 4 open urinals and 6 people are deep on the. This happens all the time locally at these venues. I don't know what's going on at Dave Matthews concerts, and maybe you've seen that. I'm just telling you what I've seen, and it's got to stop. If you have a stomach bug, if you have a stomach bug and you're screwed because Pete the Body Bilotti's afraid to go in the urinal, is that fair?
Did I just say, you know what I just said? I did not say I was scared to go on the urinal.
But you just said you just wanted to. You didn't give us a reason.
Well, yeah, maybe one day I want to just use the toilet.
You can't just say that. Are you scared of using the urinal?
Why can't I just say that?
Because what does that mean? Because I don't just come in here and go, guys, you know what? I'm just going to talk about horses all day. I have to talk about sports, Pete. You got to do sometimes what you don't want to do.
I'm on the line to go to the urinal or use the toilet. I can use either one to do whatever I have to.
Well, yes, you can do whatever you want any time in life. That's not the point here. The point is you're taking up resources from somebody that needs them and you don't need it. Am I wrong?
I'm the next person in line. How am I taking up a resource?
This is the whole conversation, Pete. The Pete is there's not enough toilets. There's too many urinals. You're not listening?
No, but
nobody's saying
if there's listening here.
Nobody's saying if the next thing available is, and you're the next person in line, there's a urinal toilet, I prefer the toilet. What we're saying is if there's 4 open urinals and there's a lines at the stalls and you're afraid to use the urinal, you're doing this wrong and somebody really needs a stall.
And my point was that I wasn't allowed to make is that I still have never seen people waiting to go into the stall. There's always open stalls.
Well, you and I have gone to completely different venues. I'm telling you what I've experienced a lot at these games.
And your bowels as ridiculous as they are, don't get to decide the ratio of what Pete gets to do.
No, we're mixing up everything. We're making this thing personal.
You told Pete he can't go to a game because
if he's scared to go to the urinal, yes.
That's ridiculous.
That means you're
That's
scared
the most ridiculous thing said in this entire conversation.
You're scared of being in public then.
Why can't anyone go in the bathroom where they want to?
Because you're taking up resources from people that are waiting. That's the point of this argument. That if there is a line of people waiting for the toilet, we're not talking about your situation where there's nobody in the ballpark. If there is a line of people waiting to use the toilet and you take up the toilet to go number one and there's open urinals, you're taking up resources from people that could use them when you could use something else.
Okay, but my point still remains. I've had to go to the bathroom at games, and I've never had to wait for a stall.
Okay, but that situation is not what we're talking about.
Steve Ballmer's
not putting in 3 times as many toilets because there's tons of toilets available to everybody. Why do you think he's doing this? Why do you think that's a point here?
I hear what you're saying. I don't know why you're not hearing mine. I get it. I've seen the place where there's 30 urinals and 3 toilets, so I see the ratio being off. I still, though, have always seen an empty stall for Sean having to run in because he just had 74,000 calories in one sitting.
So you've been to a million games, so Steve Ballmer has an experience that is unlike anything you've ever experienced.
No, I think that you are being way too harsh on people who want to go to the bathroom in the stall.
Why do you think Steve Ballmer's doing this? What do you think his rationale is?
I'm sure Steve Ballmer has numbers or whatever you thought about. Fine, but again, doesn't mean it's necessary to do this.
Okay, well, so now we're going to take something that an arena did.
D.A., you told Pete not to go to a game instead of peeing in a urinal.
Hold on. We're going to take a guy who's worth $10-20 billion, who has assessed the needs of a major municipality and is building a multi-$100 million, billion-dollar arena. He has assessed that there is a necessary need for 3 times the toilets because people are in line waiting. He cites this to get back to the seat. And you're saying it's unnecessary. He's wrong due to my observation.
What if he's doing it for more people that want to use the urinal, use the toilet than the urinal?
Whatever the case is.
This is a number 2 problem?
Whatever the case is.
No, not whatever the case, because you're saying people that want to pee in urinals are wrong.
Yes, because that's why we need extra toilets.
Is it?
Well, no. Okay, so everybody's crapping their pants at every game.
I mean, maybe Sean says he's the voice of millions.
Okay, if that's the case, yes, let's just say it's because America's overweight. We're eating terrible things at ballparks. Stadium foods are going crazy. And let's just say everybody has to go number 2, okay?
Yeah.
If everybody has to go number 2 and we need more toilets, if you're going number 1 where the people need to go number 2, you're doing it wrong.
I still disagree. I still think that you were allowed to pee in a stall if you want to. You're allowed to have privacy. You just are for whatever reason, whether you're scared, whether you make weird noises when you pee, whether you have problems and the pee comes out in shots. Like, you're allowed to pee in a urinal.
Okay.
I'll die on this hill with Pete.
Okay. If that's the case, Pete, that you're either shy, you're scared, or you make weird noises, is that your reason? Or your reason is just you just want to do what you want to do?
You're on the line to do what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Why do I have to take an inventory of the people behind me of where
or a questionnaire, ask what they're doing?
So we don't live in a society where you care about other people's needs?
I care about other people's needs, but you know what? I'm next on this line I'm waiting on.
Right.
If I have to go do what I have to do, I have the right to pick which one I want to go with.
Being selfish. That's what it is. It comes down to you guys being selfish.
It takes like 19
it's being totally
seconds.
selfish. It's just a selfish, self-absorbed, self-indulgent American society that you guys are in the middle of.
19 seconds, a long time if you've had a lot of tacos at a game. I'm telling you right now.
Then don't eat like that.
So I can't eat like I want to eat at a ball game because you're afraid to use the urinal. What if, by the way, okay, 4 urinals open, 5 people deep at every stall. What if I pulled down my pants and I did what I had to do in a urinal? I'd get removed from the stadium.
That's
Good.
right.
Well, you shouldn't be
That's
doing
right.
that.
They're not the
Steve.
same
I'm being forced to do it because you're afraid to use the urinal.
What the point that Bogus and Bellotti are making is that you guys don't need to abide by societal rules.
No, you decided this is a societal rule.
Well, what we're saying is if there's an obvious need for toilets, it's because people need the toilets. That's why Steve Ballmer's doing this. If you need to take up a toilet to do something you could do elsewhere, you are being selfish.
I don't.
You're thinking about yourself.
No. Well, yeah, but in a way that you're allowed to.
Well, don't you every day make courtesy decisions?
Yes, and I don't think
that's a courtesy.
And I don't think it's a required courtesy.
Do you hold the door open for somebody?
I do, yes.
For old people, do you wait till they walk across before blowing through a red light?
Yes,
or with a green light.
And I don't think that this is on par with that. The 15 or 20 or 30 seconds, and I'm going to go number one in a stall. If that inconveniences somebody that significantly, 4 guys back in line in the bathroom, like that's not. I don't. That math does not add up for me. I can get in and out of the stall, and you can then go in there for 30. Like, should I tell Sean to not take a 35-minute visit because somebody else has to go?
Yes.
All right, fine.
Yes.
If you're going to give me
a guy that uses the stall should not be in there for 35 minutes.
Okay,
yeah,
then if you're going to give me that, then I'll
absolutely.
No, then I'll give you some acceptance here
general
too. Courtesy
at a ballpark or in a societal communal place. You do have. Everybody does this. It's like, if you're in a Dave Matthews Band concert,
yeah.
If you were 7 feet tall, you wouldn't stand in the front row. If there was a kid behind you,
if there was a kid behind me, sure. And I feel like and I've been in the bathroom where I've let a dad in his, but that's not the same thing as me wanting to go in a stall.
But it's shades of it. It's shades of being courtesy to people that need something.
But what's the I don't understand.
Of course, it's a courtesy. Number 2 can only happen there. Your number 1 can happen there.
Right, but like Pete said, if we're all in a line, why can I not go in the stall? If we're all there,
because
am
you
I
have
supposed
two
to
options.
ask everyone behind me what they're doing?
No, but that's the assumption is that if you're going to be in line, like I'm saying, if you're making up this rule, it is if
you guys are making up the rule.
If you're going number 1, there's your 10 urinals. If you're going number 2, there's your 3 stalls. That's how it should break down.
But I still think that you have my permission to use the stall.
I think it's about courtesy.
Yeah, and Bogus, just one pushback, because we don't need to carry on forever about this. Poor Boyle's going to get pushed from sound check. My point was the lines that back up out the concourses in there. When you get to a bathroom, look, you can deny us all you want. Inevitably, when you get up, the first thing you see is the stalls and then urinals everywhere. People congregate waiting online in the stalls. You're saying, well, I'm next up. I'm ready for a stall. You're acting as if that's a simple one-for-one deal. You could easily go stand online behind somebody on a urinal and push these lines in. People are choosing to wait online for the stalls.
Okay, and so that's a specific thing. And if there were 2 lines, I would not go cutting across in front of people who are waiting to go into a stall. But if you're on one line waiting for something to open, the only way that you're inconveniencing somebody is if the person next to you has to go number 2 and you don't. And am I going to ask everyone that's next to me what they want to do in the bathroom?
Take it like a deli counter. What are you doing?
But the point is that if we did establish these bylaws, then everybody in line for the stall would have to go number 2. Then you would know that.
Right. And if there are separate lines, like everyone chooses the line they want to be on. But I still think if you want to go pee in a stall, you can get online with the stall guys.
Look, if I'm going to get kicked out of the stadium for doing the other thing in a urinal, you should get kicked out of a stadium for doing that.
Nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. Come on.
Well, what does it have to do
jump into a red light argument too.
It's exactly what if you feel comfortable one day going into a stall to do number 1, you should have every right to go in the stall to do number 1.
Yes.
Hey, look, every time, usually when I go to the bathroom in a public facility, as everyone wants to know this, I will step aside if people want to use the stall.
That's nice of you. That's the courtesy.
That's what I do, and I wait for the urinal. But I should have the right, if I want to one day, hey, I want to go use a stall, I should be able to use a stall. It shouldn't be an issue.
Look, all I know is if you
put
go out,
in more of them, so we have no problem.
Right.
Make
Well,
2
that's
lines.
what Bomber is doing.
Hey, look, if you go out in public as a man and you see a urinal that you don't have at home and don't use it, it's like going to the Cheesecake Factory, not sticking around for the cheesecake.
Get a life, all right?
Why would you do
Find
that?
another hill to die on, really. I mean,
He's actually going to die on this hill.
This is
literally,
exactly
probably.
what you're thinking about. I'm thinking about going in and going out. It doesn't matter. This guy had a big pleasure cruise going in there to use the stall.
Right.
Because
You're
you
gonna
had
do it-
500 tacos.
Right, and spend 30 minutes on your phone trolling Eagles fans,
That
doing
you
something
shouldn't do either.
disgusting.
That you shouldn't do.
Right.
500 beers, everything.
I don't like those people that go into an office stall, stadium stall, and just pop open their phone and sit there for 15 minutes. I don't like that either.
Well, you know what? If
Courtesy.
it was 20 years ago, we would have been cracking open the USA Today. But you know what? Now the newspapers on our phones.
No, that's the courtesy the other way. You got to move along. You got to let other people in.
I agree. But, okay, fine. Bottom line is this. We end this with D.A. and me are right. Boyle gets pushed from sound check. Bogus and Peter wrong.
We're gonna have to do Boyle next hour. Bogus, I don't know if you have time for the headlines, so do we have a read?
We don't have a read, so we can skip it if you want.
This is up to Pete.
We got to take a break.
Okay, we'll take a break. when we come back here on the show. I was going to do the Brandon Miller story, but maybe that'll wait till next hour as well. That seems kind of an important one.